Was smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solo.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo Boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3v3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before he's last. Dies, and Chicken Fried Rice to his teeth with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him. And they call comes back in the circuit, flip finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage retrieval back? And he does, but unfortunately, it is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo Boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron, they spiraled away from a teamfight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly, still performing extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out simply, tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron I've seen, and it's incredibly hard to siege anything. As we're talking about that, the dragon does in fact spawn.
This will be a very important fight. Dragon Soul on the line. Let's see.
This is so easy, and the onslaught of shadows into all of the members. We talk about Wombo on one side, we talk about Wombo on the other side, but the whole time is not correctly pinned on enough members to make it worth it and to make it so they can make this comeback. And unfortunately, at the end, CLB take the lead, and they look to take the game.
And then as we rolled into game 2, Maokai was picked again.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Maokai, the Twisted Treant.
Maokai is a support tank hybrid.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bold move.
Overall,
normally Darius is only reserved for those counter picks, and it looks like they're just going to respond with Maokai.
And the team was entirely green, so they kind of had the aesthetic advantage for the Big Bongo Boys. For the first 22 minutes, I kind of got distracted watching the LCS. 100 Thieves did win, to a big surprise of all the casters. And then we moved back into the game, where Baron and Soulpoint were both hit here by CLB.
Towards this dragon, we do have good depth running up from base. Let's see if we can get here in time.
And this dragon is down to 9k HP. They opt to pull it out, so the potential steal is has a lot less potential to happen. The Maokai ulti for the engage, they want to make this happen. The Wombo combo, but the bullet time is just barely out of range, but it's not going to matter in the end. The Deathball comes too strong, but this Twitch is free firing in the backline. Good Death trying to stall time for his AD carry, but in a 1v4, when you're already routed and they're already on top of you, they make it look easy.
With CLB taking a massive victory in the second game and this series. It seemed like the casters had gone to Hogwarts, because every single time they were casting and made predictions, they just put a caster curse down on poor Big Bongo Boys.
The series is taken by Clarity Black.
And that was Risen Unstoppable for the night. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Risen Recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a bang, Quicksand asleep.
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up, come on,
I gotta say, he was smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solo.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo Boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3v3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before he's last. Dies, and Chicken Fried Rice to his teeth with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him. And they call comes back in the circuit, flip finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage retrieval back? And he does, but unfortunately, It is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo Boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron they spiraled away from a team fight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly, still
find
performing
Akali.
extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out simply, tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron I've seen, and it's incredibly hard to siege anything. As we're talking about that, the dragon does in fact spawn.
This will be a very important fight. Dragon Soul on the line. Let's see.
This is so easy, and the onslaught of shadows into all of the members. We talk about Wombo on one side, we talk about Wombo on the other side, but the whole time is not correctly pinned on enough members to make it worth it and to make it so they can make this comeback. And unfortunately, at the end, CLB take the
They don't.
ace, and they look to take the game.
And then as we rolled into game 2, Maokai was picked again.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Maokai, the Twisted Treant.
Maokai is a support tank hybrid.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bold move.
Overall,
Normally Darius is only reserved for those counter picks, and it looks like they're just going to respond with Maokai.
And the team was entirely green, so they kind of had the aesthetic advantage for the Big Bongo Boys. For the first 22 minutes, I kind of got distracted watching the LCS. 100 Thieves did win, to a big surprise of all the casters, and then we moved back into the game, where Baron and Soulpoint were both hit here by CLB.
Towards this dragon, we do have good depth running up from base. Let's see if we can get here in time.
And this dragon is down to 9k HP. They opt to pull it out, so the potential steal is has a lot less potential to happen. The Maokai ulti for the engage. They want to make this happen. The Wombo combo, but the bullet time is just barely out of range, but it's not going to matter in the end. The Deathball comes too strong, but this Twitch is free firing in the backline. Good Death trying to stall time for his 80 carry, but in a 1v4, when you're already routed and they're already on top of you, they make it look easy.
With CLB taking a massive victory in the second game and this series. It seemed like the casters had gone to Hogwarts, because every single time they were casting and made predictions, they just put a caster curse down on poor Big
As
Bongo
the
Boys.
series is taken by Clarity Black.
And that was Risen Unstoppable for the night. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a
Wake
bang,
up!
Quicksand asleep.
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up, come
But
on,
I
come
gotta
on.
say, he was
Go.
smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo.
Dick. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tiebreaker with Risen. Today we are here with Spooky Mars and Sultan. How are you both doing today? It's going to be an exciting game.
Couldn't be more excited to be here, Haru. Like you said, the tiebreakers are always such an exciting match to watch. Second seed and third seed are on the line for these two teams. Personally, I think it's going to be a great grind coming out from both sides. They both have to bring their A game. I don't know about you guys. I'm hyped.
Yeah, and like as far as hype goes, right? These are like two of the top 3 teams. Like these are both teams went 5-1. And like this is just as good as a series can get, other than if you have the first seed playing against these guys. So really lucky that we have the tiebreaker. It's going to be really interesting to see who gets to play who in the playoffs bracket.
Yeah, so these teams, they have been bringing their A game all season, and now we get to see them just take all of their A game from all season and just like add extra oomph to it. What are your predictions for these games coming up?
I mean, it's like you said, right? You've been playing at your best all season. You never bring your B game to a single game. You're always trying to win as quickly as possible, make sure you're playing things correctly. Now that you're on the line here against someone who's got the same record as you have to dig deeper. You got to find a little bit more. What can you find to push you over the edge and give yourself that advantage? Maybe it comes down to the picks. Maybe one of these teams has been trying something out new in scrims that the other teams haven't seen before. I'd get my eye on those picks and bans at the first place to really start seeing things switch up.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. I personally am interested in this game because of how I think the league is structured. These two teams haven't played each other. Normally we see, even if it's 5-1, you always have that one regular season to base off your like predictions off. Like these two teams, they haven't faced each other in the regular season. They're both 5-1. They lost to different teams and they won their games against different teams as well. So it's just like I don't know. This is as good as it gets. I think it's just like you get two teams that they haven't played against each other, but they're also like just at the same record, same level of competitiveness at least. So, uh, chills.
So yeah, both well worded. Like I'm getting chills, and you know what? I actually have a little toy to hold on to, and they're getting the Poro's getting chilly as well. Any predictions or picks you want to see for the banning phase coming up?
I'm still processing the fact that you just said that to me while holding up the Poro.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I'm upset about it right now. I want you to know that. I mean, like Sultan said, right? These teams haven't faced each other before, so I wouldn't expect to see any prior or like target bans come through because you haven't had that experience. You haven't had that matchup. You don't know. Okay, this person's I don't know Twitch is going to be a problem. Just get it out of there. We are probably not going to see that stuff. I would expect things to probably be fairly standard in the bans, but things might switch up in the picks. I'm not sure.
Yeah. For me, pick and ban. When you look at both these teams, like what they play specifically, like on Okay, I need to go back to the doc to just make sure that I'm saying the right team. Okay, team Dinglebertt, right? Their team, their mi- uh their mid laner actually plays like a really good Akali and Syndra. Again, there's like different rank brackets that they have these win rates on, but having a 64% win rate on Akali, that's always an interesting thing, especially with how Akali been effective in drafts. I don't know how many people watched it, but there was a Faker played it in the T1 RNG series where they won game two, and on the other side we have some diamond players. So with that, there's Kaisa picks. There's the enemy mid laner plays Kiana, Katarina, some spicy assassins that can
Ooh.
really pop off out of nowhere. So just keeping an eye on that would just be the my prediction.
Speaking of the Kale, I actually have seen this team. I think maybe a couple weeks ago pull it out because I've hosted for one of their games, and yeah, it was scary. So I'm excited to see like hope if it isn't banned, then yeah. But any picks that you both want to see other than it being banned but being picked to play?
All right, listen, if you're going to ask me who I want to see picked, it's
Yeah.
always Maokai. It's always going to be Maokai. I want to see the trees walking down the lane. I want the trees to learn violence. There's nothing better. I love seeing Maokai. Always like seeing Varus, but
Oh
that's
yeah.
just because those are my favorites. I have no good reason for that.
Hmm. I would like to see the new Syndra. Like I've played with it a bunch, but it's always interesting to see how different players pilot different champions, especially the ones who got like mini reworked lately. Syndra now has a little bit more late game scaling, a little bit more gameplay potential with those like upgraded abilities as the game goes on, but the laning phase is a little bit harder to pilot. Especially, I'm expecting it to see from Solius if he can pull it out against a Dime D4 mid laner. The, uh, okay, rank is not everything, but like when the difference is almost close to like 500, 600 LP, then it's like if you can hold your ground against that, I'm really impressed.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your opinions. And we got to get it to draft, so I will see you at the analyst desk. A desk, sorry. Take it away.
All right. Well, we will see Haru another time. For now, I think it's right to the draft with us, Sultan. And frankly, I'm pretty excited about the draft phase, right? This is where things really start to come together. I say it so frequently, Sultan, but
Uh,
this is where the games usually tend to really start. This is where you start to see the teams actually form their strategies. Who do they not want to play against? Who do they want to form their strategy for? And I'm always excited to see who their priority bans are, who their priority picks are. Now, you mentioned a few. Do you think that we'll see any of those picks that you mentioned get banned away specifically to try to break
mm.
momentum here?
Well, like I talked about Akali and Syndra. I personally going from player psychology. if I'm D4, I'm not getting like enemy gold mid laners full banned at all. Like that's just an ego issue right there. Like I'm not banning that.
Right.
Maybe like we see some bans, the Kai'Sa, the Caitlyn, some of the most played champions, especially in the meta lately. Kai'Sa really good with those like dive comps. Caitlyn, especially with the rage advantage, and some buffs she received like a few patches ago has been like just put her in the spot of like blind pickable ADCs. They banned the tree that you were talking about. Maokai is also banned. But another pick that you talked about, where's was picked, and CKS they did play this before, or like their ADC actually loves playing this. So how they will pilot it will be something to keep an eye on.
Now, Ornn is the pickup on the other side there, and Ornn is always an interesting one to me because he's just so tanky. It's so hard to get him out of lane and try to find an advantage in that top lane when someone is just playing this super tank who doesn't even have to go back to the
Oh.
base to find his items. And now with this Yasuo also being selected, that makes you wonder, maybe this Varus is going AP to bring some magic damage so they're not super concentrated on the AD factor here.
Yeah, maybe they can pair up with a Diana, or like maybe an Alistar in the bot lane. Yeah, also, it is, it is one of those champions where like it's really hit or miss. They will pick up Lulu for the Varus, the combination of Varus Lulu, but again, Yasuo, it can do his own plays. It can like get the EQ flash like tornado like outplays that will really make some good clips on the Twitch channel. But you know, those are like some really mechanical, like mechanics intensive things. And when the enemy team has flash, it's really hard to do those. So you always want that. I know the Malphites, the knockups at least, to kind of facilitate that. How will CKS do that throughout the draft? We will see, but the Veigar is the answer in the mid lane to kind of stop that Yasuo from being able to just slide through the minions and like kind of have some safety in the mid lane.
Now, so what do you think the odds are that at some point we just see Yasuo decide to start dashing into the enemy team to receive the Lulu ult and knock people up so that he can then
Oh.
press his own R and just be this giant Yasuo in the air? That's the play that I would like to see, personally.
That would be a one way to go for it, but again, Yasuo, although he has shield bow, he can go distance. It's not like he's tanky even after the Lulu ult.
Mhm.
If I'm just like sliding into Veigar, like there's Ornn in the front line, and you're like 500 HP left, 600 HP left, thinking you're okay. Veigar ults you, you take 1.2k damage. It's like, oh my god, I'm dead.
You
So
don't think about consequences here.
like if you're going all in, sure, I do think Lulu knockups sometimes work, but how they can do it is like maybe if they have someone in the front line goes in, even if they don't knock up Lulu ults, then he also follows up. So things like that can work. I'm not against it. I'm not against the idea, but we see red side banning the Diana and Xin Zhao, some champions that Yasuo can really have good synergy with. And on the other side, the Trundle ban is coming through. I'm just thinking maybe they're just looking for a Sejuani top pick or Sejuani jungle. Sejuani does have that knockup on the Q, gets pretty heavily countered by Trundle most of the time. That is like a traditional counter pick that we see in comp and pro play. And we will see how blue side responds to the TB's Nautilus pick.
Yeah, Nautilus is one that I always kind of dread seeing in my games. It's just like it feels like everything he has is CC. Even his basic attacks, man, they apply a root as well. It's so hard to get away from this champion once he's on top of you. And you add this Veigar into the mix. If you get CC'd and then there's a Veigar cage following that up, or even just a Veigar cage to then set up for the Nautilus and make it all easier, it's such a tough position to be in. But Sultan, kudos to you. Called it perfectly. Sejuani is the pick here.
Yeah. I think with I was gonna say
Oh.
I would have really liked to see a Mordekaiser here, just because like how Dingleberry's I don't know. Wait, what was their name?
Dingleberrt.
My Okay, Dingleberrt. Oh, my bad. Yeah, how with how they drafted, I feel like a Mordekaiser would have been really good because it would force Jinx to build a QSS. Mordekaiser has an insane laning phase into Ornn, but they go with the Rumble. Rumble, I think, is a champion that I don't know much about. I think the only time we've seen him lately in the pro scene or comp at all was, I think, was like last Worlds when Rumble was like a really one of the best junglers in the game. Um, so with those picks, I'm not really sure. Maybe this is like a Sejuani top Rumble jungle. Like it can be anything. They can flex that if they want. But with a Wukong as well, the sign of Dingleberrt, they did draft a lot of like engage that can also be used as disengage. Like if the enemy team is running into you, you can Wukong ult and then try to kind of like peel for your Jinx. They have a lot of ways to engage, but there's a lot of scaling, especially for their damage. The Jinx, the Veigar, these champions want to like, Veigar wants to farm, Jinx wants to hit 3 items. On the other side, CKS, they can actually look for more engages towards the early and mid game. So like both of these teams having two different playstyles, but um I don't know. Both are really different from what I expected.
Well, I can safely say the last time I saw Rumble was last week in support. Don't look
Oh.
that game up, please. Just don't look at that game ever because it was not a good support pick. But I am very interested in the draft coming out from Coach Kev Sucks here. Do you think there's any potential at all that they send this Yasuo in the bot lane and put Varus in the mid?
I would say normally maybe, but like just because it's paired up with Lulu, because you're playing against the Nautilus, like if Yasuo walks up too much, the auto attack stun, like the auto attack route from Nautilus would make it really hard for the Yasuo. Well, is it playable? I think so, because Yasuo might like get some good plays into you, especially an early game Jinx, but they would get like outranged really hard.
Mhm.
Maybe if it was an Alistar, I would say maybe, but I don't see, because like you also have the Sejuani in the jungler top lane. You want to have that melee champion to at least be helpful to the Sejuani in the jungle against the Wukong.
So expecting a more traditional style when it comes from the Varus and the Yasuo here. Now, you touched on Rumble being one of the best junglers a little while ago, right? Those days are past; they're long gone. But is there any potential that you see here for Rumble being in the jungle here again and still putting that Sejuani up top lane?
I was gonna say maybe, but then Chubby Hooks just picked the top. I was gonna say I've seen some people play it still. Like you just start with your Q. Before it was like you just spam your W on cooldown and you would get your overheat. Bunch of things got nerfed for it. So yeah, it's normal that we see the Rumble top. It can also like trade really heavily early on. It is not a mana reliant top laner, so he can just use his cooldowns, use his abilities on cooldown and force Ornn to maybe like go out of mana, because when you're poked out, Ornn kind of relies on his Q to get most of the farm. This might become a problem for Hoser, but again, it just depends on how both these junglers are kind of approaching the game. If they're gonna weak side this Rumble and kind of just like let him do his thing in the 1v2, then this Rumble might suffer in a possible Wukong gank or Veigar roam.
Well, you are reminding me why I stopped playing up in the top lane because man, Rumble is definitely one of those lane bullies that could just kind of ruin the entire experience. Like I said, not being gated by mana is such a powerful tool for this Rumble. So I would expect to see him get some lane pressure over there. But like you said, the gank potential is very real there. Ornn has some good setup if this Wukong wants to look for those ganks. And if you're getting bullied and this Rumble is pushing forward, he's going to be in a prime spot to take advantage of that. Do you think it's likely then that they will do as you said and just keep the bot side on the weak side and just try to go for this top?
I would normally say maybe, but like just how both of these teams approach the game, right? Like I feel like the blue side here from Coach Kevin Sucks, they're more reliant on like mid game power spikes. The Yasuo's 2 item power spike. The Varus can be really lethal with Shilbo Gunsu's Same with Rumble. As soon as he hits 6, there's a really low cooldown on that ultimate. So they're just going to be looking for perma picks, getting as much of a lead as possible in the early game. So I feel like for them, they should be looking to play more towards the spot side. Just make sure this Lulu and Varus is not getting punished by a Nautilus. And on the other side, you want to scale. Like, you don't, playing towards an Ornn is always not always the best choice. You just want him to be even in EXP so that he can give those item upgrades later on to the game. But what you really want is like get this Wigger and Jinx to their power spikes with like farming and making sure they're not forced out of lane or not dying. For that, I think both teams should be looking to play towards the bot side. Just leave these top laners in isolation. And even if the Ornn is getting bullied, it's fine. If the Ornn is not dying, and like it is not really easy to die with Ornn with a Sejuani Rumble, I would assume, because of how tanky he is and he can get CC immune with his W. I think both teams should be looking for playing bot and just leave the top laners in that famous top lane island that we really used to see lately.
Well, sounds like we have some potential for some fireworks down in the bot lane on this game. It's just a matter of, can Coach Kev Sucks find their power spike and take advantage of it, or will the Dingleberrt be able to scale up to the late game monsters we can see they are so capable of? We'll find the answer to that question in just a moment, but first, short break.
Back to the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a bang, Quicksand asleep.
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up.
But I gotta say, he was smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solos.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo Boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before his last dies, and Chicken Fried Rice to escape with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him, and they call comes back in the circuit, but finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage retrieval back? And he does, but unfortunately, it is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo Boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron, they spiraled away from a team fight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly, still performing extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out simply, tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron I've seen, and it's incredibly hard to siege anything. As we're talking about that, the dragon does in fact spawn.
This will be a very important fight. Dragon Soul on the line. Let's see.
This is so easy, and the onslaught of shadows into all of the members. We talk about Wombo on one side, we talk about Wombo on the other side, but the whole time is not correctly pinned on enough members to make it worth it and to make it so they can make this comeback. And unfortunately, at the end, CLB take the lead, and they look to take the game.
And then as we rolled into game 2, Maokai was picked again.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Maokai, the Twisted Treant.
Maokai is a support tank hybrid.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bold move.
Overall,
Normally Darius is only reserved for those counter picks, and it looks like they're just going to respond with Maokai.
And the team was entirely green, so they kind of had the aesthetic advantage for the Big Bongo Boys. For the first 22 minutes, I kind of got distracted watching the LCS. 100 Thieves did win, to a big surprise of all the casters, and then we moved back into the game, where Baron and Soulpoint were both hit here by CLB.
Towards this dragon, we do have good depth running up from base. Let's see if we can get here in time.
And this dragon is down to 9k HP. They opt to pull it out, so the potential steal is has a lot less potential to happen. The Maokai ulti for the engage. They want to make this happen. The Wombo combo, but the bullet time is just barely out of range, but it's not going to matter in the end. The Deathball comes too strong, but this Twitch is free firing in the backline. Good Death trying to stall time for his AD carry, but in a 1v4, when you're already routed and they're already on top of you, they make it look easy.
With CLB taking a massive victory in the second game and this series. It seemed like the casters had gone to Hogwarts because every single time they were casting and made predictions, they just put a caster curse down on poor Big
As
Bongo Boys.
The series is taken by Clarity Black.
And that was Risen Unstoppable for the night. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a bang, Quicksand asleep.
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up,
But I gotta say, he was smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solo.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I sure hope you didn't go anywhere because the game is just beginning. The excitement is just starting to build. Coach Kevin Sucks against the Dingleberrt. I'm getting right into game. It's still Spooky and Sultan. Sultan, look at this aggressive positioning. This might be a 5-man invade. Do you expect them to go all the way?
Maybe, but Fed and Sweaty. Okay, I'm not sure if it was if it was the plan, but he stayed at a really good place to like really just see if the gank was happening or not. I was just surprised that Underpants was not leading the invade, because like you want to like just engage with the Nulls, Stro just walking up in front. They didn't even burn a flash. Nothing comes out of it. They do burn some wards. Fat and Sweaty could reset for a sweeper, but he didn't choose to do that. Normally, those type of wards can really mean a lot in lane, because if this Rumble gets it, he hits level 2 off the first wave. Then he gets to bully off Hoser in the top lane. Just not really going for that. So I give a not good for that one.
A not good across the board from Sultan. I'll have to see how that pans out as the game goes on. But for both teams, results in a fairly standard start here. Not going to see too much excitement. It is worth noting that, Fat and Sweaty has a slightly slower clear than the Stro on this Wukong, but would be surprised to see if that matters too much here in this early game. Down here in the bot lane, though, you mentioned that this was a big point of contention for both these teams, right? Both of them want to get active in this bottom lane because they're both relying on these ADCs to get active. Just looking at this bot lane matchup, who do you kind of prefer in that?
Well, like after a few levels in, like after we get some few levels onto these players, I'm pretty sure the Nautilus Jinx will have some prio, but Vexen needs to be careful. He just gets first blooded. Heal and flash ready to him. He doesn't use that. What I was gonna mention was, while leashing, red side, Jinx and Nautilus, they missed the first 3 CS. That is like a huge mistake coming from them. Like, you just don't hit level 2 if you lose that first 3 minions until the wave 3 comes in. So with that mistake, they just give off a first blood as well, and like Jinx will be able to catch most of these minions thanks to the cannon wave. But again, this is just a huge gold difference for the bot lane already, just 500.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe Vexen wasn't expecting the enhanced Q damage to come through there, because Dirty Bandit, he did start with that W, so he has the ability to just add that missing health percent damage on top of that Q. And so that extra damage came through, and that seems to be what sealed the deal over there. Up in the top lane, though, Chubby Hugs is getting the worst end of this trade. Hoser absolutely hosing the trade up there. But not able to secure the kill. I say that, but he flashes in, not able to secure the kill. Takes 3 tower shots. And, I don't think that goes in his favor anymore. Stro in the area. Stealth isn't going to last for long under the tower, but he gets CC'd under it, and he's going to fall down 1-for-1 up in the top lane. But it does put the Dingleberts on the map here.
It does, and with that, there's TP back from Chubby Hugs, so all of the CS lead coming from Moser, well, again, EXP-wise, it is still good, but Hugs is just back on gold lead, and oh no,
stop him? Why'd you go for the poke? Just hit that man with your drill. Just punch him at that point. Unfortunate for Chubby Hugs. Very fortunate for Hoser. Oh, good wall coming out from Glitch. You better. Dash, though, from AS Lin. And I guess that's why he picks the Yasuo. He knows how to play this one.
Yeah, and we see a lane gank coming from Fed and Sweaty. Underpants needs to be careful.
Oh, but the polymorph comes through. Vexen in some danger. One more
really
for the
low.
stun. Can they get it? They do get the stun, but now Underpants is the target. Not able to secure either of those kills, but it should force both of them out. You get the TKO, if not the full kill.
Yeah, and Vexen just, I don't know, he's just not using the heal for some reason. Instead,
We love those.
yeah, he just likes the adrenaline rush of like being just low HP. The flash comes through.
Ooh, good
This should be
stuns
a
as
kill.
well. Stunned under tower, takes some shots, but it's not enough to take him down. Stro on the rotation, shouldn't be able to get there in time. Oh, he spotted out cleanly. What a tornado from AS Lin to stop that one.
Yeah, and with that, Coach Kevin Sucks is just getting the early game lead that we were talking about that they would want. Stro, Lin might want to be
I don't
careful,
think he's winning this one. Flash comes through, does find the kill there, but that is a flash now for that kill. Wukong will not have that available to him. Still a good shutdown, though.
Yeah, and for now, just unexpectedly, there's a lead in for the Dingleberrt side and the top side that I was not expecting. Especially this Rumble or matchup is not going how they would want it to be, like, go. Chubby Hug's actually getting bullied in the lane, always getting perma shoved under. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Hoser using the ult.
Hey, he just wanted to teach him who's boss. He messed with the ram, and so he got the horns.
Yeah, I'm wondering if... Oh, the Hex Flash into Q.
That
Doesn't
is
land.
not going to pan out. But
Yeah,
they are
but
going to
Vexen
take
is
the
getting
initiative here.
bullied.
Oh my goodness, the burst! This is why you picked Varus, baby! The damage is good. The health percent is there. It's a double kill. Varus all the way. That's why I like this champ, man.
Yep. No, like just with Lilith, the amount of damage they're putting out is crazy right now. The pickaxe, the two long swords, the level lead, it's just all there, and they do get another double kill. And the bot side, dirty band-aid.
Yo! What? Crazy aggression coming out from Hoser. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Sultan, if I'm Chubby Hugs, I'm mad that that basic killed me at the end. I flashed, man.
Yeah, well, you can't flash auto attacks. It's just like unfortunate, but if you don't go out of vision, I think that. Oh, another shutdown goes over to Band-Aid.
Will
What?
coming out from. Wait, Vexen, why did you do it? He's going for the rockets. He finds one. Can he find a second? No, sir. AS Lin puts that one down here, and they're looking for a little bit more. Finds the knockup. You're not hooking out of this one, my friend. Underpants
ultimate.
goes under.
He needs to
Glitchy
find
looking
him.
for somebody. He can't press R on Dirty Bandit. He's too far away. And now you've overstayed your welcome, my friend. You can still R onto dashes, but you're stuck down. What a wind wall to stop it. Oh my goodness. The plays are insane coming out from Coach Kev Sucks. I'm starting to doubt their name. I think Coach Kev is doing something right.
A lot of questionable plays of like Vexen jumping in. He somehow got a kill out of that. But I guess it worked out a little bit. But like when you look at the bot lane, Krakenslayer versus Nooncover, the gold lead is insane. And especially mid, Lin, he wasn't in a huge lead in the mid lane because of like the CS and him dying to Stro, but now with those 2 kills being picked up for him, it is looking really scary. At least there's a top lane that is going in favor of Dingleberts.
Yeah, that is the one shining spot for Dingleberts right now. Hoser has been able to control this lane, even get himself a kill up there, and, you know, an assist with help of Stro. So we talked about how some attention should be paid towards the bot lane. But with how this game is currently going, hold that thought chain of corruption, comes out, finds Vex, and he's gone! That's so much burst. Underpants has nowhere to go. That's the double kill. And so this leads perfectly to my question, Sultan. Do you bother ganking this anymore, or does Stro just focus on top where he's already winning?
I would normally say maybe you just look to gank because of the 1,000 gold shutdown, but I'm just not sure if they can do anything in the 3v2. It's like there's the Lulu ult, possibly Lulu still has flash. The Varus can just ult and try to kite it back. Uh-oh, Feneswetti will
Good
go
wall
down
comes
here.
out from Vygar. Glitchy does find that kill, but
Uh-oh.
here's the turnaround. Great tornado looking for the kill. AS Lin finds the Stro, and Glitchy is the next target, finds the knockup, but he's too close to the tower, not willing to go under that tower. And that's how you know that this is a comp setting where the teams are in comms, because in your ranked games, he's definitely diving that.
Yeah, and I don't know, the more we see, the Yasuo is getting much scarier. Like, again, they picked up a kill for Glitchy, but I feel like, especially from mid-game team comp, like these kills going over to Yasuo, the Varus, it's just, I don't know, I feel like the lead that Hoser has in the top side will not mean anything with how the game is going right now. Their best bet is if they can just slow down this bleed in the bot lane so that slowly they can start scaling. Vexen is just almost dying on cooldown every time she's in lane, or like there's a Varus ult or anything, and it's just so rough to play the laning as of right now. There's just not much to say.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
think the
dive.
game state is quite telling at this point. There's about a 3,000 gold lead for
Herald
Coach
is
Kev
placed.
Sucks. Only 10 minutes in at this point, and there comes Shelly in the bot lane from up high. Stro is here to put some damage into it, but that tower goes down. Stro has dashed in the chain of corruption. It gets hit by the clone, but it spreads over to Underpants. He does find the hook away, but the flash is good. Counter flash comes through as well, stunned out. But Underpants,
Oh no, he
away!
walks back.
Oh my goodness! The piercing arrow pierces through, finds the kill. And you just can't step up like that, man. Your health is too low. And it still looks like Coach Kev Sucks might be looking for a little bit more in that bot lane.
Yeah, and we get the camera to top side. Hoser, he's sitting pretty comfortable, and as we say that, Dirty Band-Aid, 9-0. 9 kills in 11
Goodness
minutes.
gracious. That damage coming out from Dirty Band-Aid is just crazy to me right now. Like, he's so far ahead. He's only level 7, but the gold advantage that he has right now is just crazy.
Double the gold of Vexen in like 11 minutes.
Oh my goodness. How do you come back from that? Like, how do you even fight into that?
I don't know if you can fight into that, I'm not gonna lie. It's just really rough overall. It's just, there's not much you can do.
What a knockup! Tries to find the Cyclone, but unfortunately, the damage is too good coming out from Lin. Does AS stand for attack speed since they're playing Yasuo?
Maybe? That's why he took lethal tempo, right?
Maybe.
He just wanted that a little bit more attack speed. I don't know, I would normally like... As a color caster, normally you're supposed to like talk about game state, how the enemy team can win, how the game is supposed to close out, but I don't know, that there's just not much any team, like both teams can do more. Let's say, oh, the flush!
Oh my goodness, the aggression tries to Everfrost, not gonna find the value. Rampage now for Lin on that Yasuo. Chain of Corruption comes through. Dirty Bandit might just look for this one, but he gets caught by those grenades. He's gonna have to take a step back. Meanwhile, top lane might go the way of Fat and Sweaty. Hoser has no mana, but also, that's an Ornn. Too tanky. It's just too tanky. And I think you were talking about that earlier, Stilton, how it wasn't going to pan out trying to gank this Ornn because it takes so much to kill him.
Oh, no. You hate to see it. The bush cheese for the Scuttle Crab. But
we love to see it in this game state.
Yeah. Like, we were talking about how tanky this Ornn is, or Ornn will be, but, like, normally, if your Ornn is in the lead, you're like, okay, he just builds tank and then the enemy ADC shouldn't do much. Again, we see another trade.
Oh, good Vygar stun there, but goodness, the damage just doesn't exist. Like,
yeah.
That didn't do damage to Lin. What?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Let's do a stack check on the Veigar. He's at 95 stacks. You normally want to stay like even with the, at least with the timer. Like if it's 14, you want to be like around 120 stacks. Him dying 4 times didn't help that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but we see Feta Switty. Oh, there's 3-man top.
Oh, they're
Bandit is
looking
supposed to be
for it.
here.
Oh no, Hoser in a bad
missed
spot.
it.
There's the stun, the dash comes through, but it gets caught by the ultimate. 2 ultimates. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and put him down. Put a band-aid on that bleed. A dirty band-aid has sure done it.
Yeah, and like it's just more resources over and over getting given over to.
Oh, Chain of Corruption goes completely
doesn't
wide,
matter.
but that's not going to stop him from going legendary on the Varus. Lin is now absolutely unstoppable. Oh, the Super Mega Death Rocket does not connect. But goodness, wait, why are you turning around on it? Humongify comes through, and Dirty Bandit, he just does not care, man. He is having the time of his life.
Yeah. Unfortunate. I just wonder when the game will be over. To be honest, like, they're picking up another Herald. Okay. Let's think about it. How can Dingleberrt come back in this game? They definitely need Dirty Band-Aid to like get over greedy and give this shutdown over to Jinx. Like, items for Veigar, okay, it is good, it's appreciated, but I think the most important thing is you get your stacks, and as long as you get your stacks, it's fine. You need this shutdown on like AS Lens and Dirty Band-Aid shutdowns onto Vexen, so you can finish at least Kraken or Gale Force. I don't know which one he's going. I would go Kraken
Really
because
Gale
this
Force,
is
right? Oh, okay.
Maybe
I thought
he has
Gale Force was
frontline,
safety.
but, like he has frontline. I feel like
Does
that
he?
should be.
100 PS dies real fast.
I guess we can say that. Normally, I would expect him to. Oh no, Vex. Never mind. You
I'm
can
pretty sure
forget whatever
Vexen
I
was
said.
there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's not getting any shutdowns.
No, that much is for sure. Unfortunately, 1 in 5. He doesn't even have his
Chubby
boots
Hugs.
complete just yet. Chubby
He's
Hugs is just
staying-
getting dove. Like, you just can't back right there.
The game is in such an awkward state. Like the top lane is getting hard bullied, but on the other side of the map,
Oh, no.
everyone has 5 deaths. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's no in between, and the Herald is coming through. Can they stop this push?
It's
That's
gonna
the
be
question.
tough. Shelly didn't even take damage from that one
Oh.
there. So, oh, good wall, but it's not gonna stop
back
Shelly
decent
from charging on in. It will stop some of the siege. Oh, Glitchy
That's
barely
AD verse.
survives that one.
That was AD verse, by the way. That's not AP if
Yeah.
anyone's looking for it. Like,
And that's the other thing. I thought that, these takes would have a better time into this double physical comp, and it would force Dirty Band-Aid to go into a more magical build. That's just not the case. He's gotten off to such an early start and snowballed so hard. There just hasn't been an actual tank presence, it feels like, from the Dingleberrt. They just can't put up any kind of defense.
yeah. Like, normally you would see, even if it's on-hit verse, you see, like, Shield Bow, Ginsu, Runaan's, like, more of a DPS build. He's going full-on crit. I'm pretty sure that BF Sword will turn into an IE. He's just like, I'm
hope so.
fed. I'm going for as much damage as possible. So, am I against it? Absolutely no. Just go for it. But top lane, Ozo's actually losing? But he has Warden's Mail. He's fine.
Yeah, he's okay for now, but this is a tough one to fight into, because if he gets hit by that Yasuo, that's a lot of armor, Ben, that AS Lin just gets, and a lot of armor that Hoser suddenly just does not have to defend himself. He's okay for now. The mid lane, there is a little bit of a siege happening, but right now it feels like it's mostly just posturing from Coach Kev Sucks. I feel like the next play's going to be around Baron, but here comes Shro looking for the double knockup. They finally do it! They finally shut him down! Great CC, but can you win the fight after the fact? Can you get out alive? So far, they have done it. They find themselves a big pick, and it looks like Dingleberrt might still get out of this one, but Lin might be in a bad spot. You might get caught out. Shieldbow gets procced. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. Doesn't do enough damage. Oh, the Yasuo ult comes through. Slow is good, but not good enough. And now Coach Kev Sucks have found the rebound. They've found their second win, and they're pushing back into the Dingleberrt. They find themselves a 2-for-1. But all said and done, you can't feel bad about that if you're the Dingleberrt.
Yeah. And to be honest, that fight between Lin and Hoser was really close. It was a really good wind wall coming from him. to stop the Ornn's second to get the second part of the Ornn ultimate. He gets the solo kill on top of him, and that kind of brings him the game. I feel like if he dies, they might have been in a rough spot. Hoser would have gotten a huge shutdown. But Stro, oh, the TP coming through.
Stro is absolutely dead here. Lin and Chubby Hugs are in the area, but Hoser TP's in, but there's the burn damage. Chubby Hugs finds himself a kill. Nice wall of fire. That's the napalm at work right there.
Yeah. Oh, Lin?
Wait, Lin? Wait, what is Lin doing? Has to flash away. Takes some tower shots. Man, I hate wind wall so much. And so does Underpants right now. Oh, and now here's the counter rotation. Glitchy is the target, but Fat and Sweaty getting burned down. Lin still in the area. Good. Humonkify comes through. They're still looking at this Underpants. He goes down finally. And Hoser has only a matter of seconds left before he goes down as well. I mean, every time Coach Kev sucks, so it just feels like they're able to sweep these team fights. If the Dingleberrt is not gathered under their tower, it doesn't matter what they do because they just don't have the damage or survivability.
Yeah, like they need a perfect team fight like we saw in the mid lane. They layered the CC perfectly. Dirty Bandit overextended a little bit, but when the scenario is not that, when Dirty Bandit is not overextended and caught, it is just super hard for them to really win anything. They get objective bounty for Vexen. Small wins, but they lose Baron. We will see how much they can really defend. I'm pretty sure Lin is sitting on a lot of gold. Yeah, he's sitting on 4k gold. Like, if he resets, he's definitely going to get some items.
Oh, well, here comes the empowered back. So he's definitely going to go ahead and start that up. Oh, he's not able to stop it. That is so unfortunate for Hoser. But it's like you said, he goes back, grabs himself a nice Infinity Edge there. That's finished up very quickly. And he's still in base. He's still thinking about what he wants to buy. And there you see it. The pickaxe, the mail. He's feeling pretty good right now. So, looking at the game state, you lose Baron, but you weren't going to contest that anyway. You lose that fight probably 10 times out of 10 if you show up to that Baron. So they find themselves the towers in mid, get themselves a little bit of gold, but they lose the tower in top. It feels like even making these small trades that could almost be wins, they're still on the losing end of things. And it's just falling into a deeper and deeper hole for them right now. And as they fall deeper, it's starting to look harder and harder to see the light at the top there. 10k is the deficit, and that's what I call a 99% result.
Yeah, well, I feel like those small trades are fine because if they don't trade that, they're not gonna win any fights. Like they need some type of gold on Vex, and this is like they're gonna lose this game if the game goes like this. And really interesting itemization coming from Dirty Bandit as well. He realizes that GA will not save him. He's going for Zonias. He has the Seeker's Arm Guard as well. So Paris, as a champion who kind of utilizes AP a decent way, it's not a bad idea. He already has enough damage.
Yeah, well, Dirty Bandit is now looking for a little bit more in the way of damage here. I don't think he's going to find too much there. But I think you could clearly see where the heads of Coach Kev Sucks are, right? They are fully in this one. They want the aggression. They want to end this one as quickly as possible. And I think that's the right call, too, because if you do allow this game to go long, if you allow the Dingleberrt to catch up at some point, those are some incredibly high-scaling champs on the other side. So, in a sense, Coach Kev Sucks is on a bit of a timer here.
Yeah. But, like, that timer is it has a really long
It's an extended one.
like the timer is around like 35 minutes. Like they still have like 12 minutes that they can like kind of work with, because like I would say the side of Dingleberrt, or I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I'm so sorry if I've been like mispronouncing it, but all they need is like 3 items on Jinx. I feel like getting more items on Underpants, getting more items on Stro doesn't really matter too much. They're there to be the frontline. They're there to just have some CC, provide some CC for the team. If Vexen can get some gold, I think they actually have decent amount of chance in these team fights because like we've seen it a lot. I've seen so many games where off Jinx hitting 3 items, the team that's losing just turns out around the fights out of nowhere. So with that, I'm not against the idea. Like maybe they can come back into this, but it will be an uphill battle, and that uphill is like 90 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's a very steep hill that they're going to have to try to get over. And it's not going to be easy to get over it if they keep having fights like this. But Fat and Sweaty is actually what overextending here. Underpants gets credited with that kill. But here comes Dirty Band-Aid, not able to secure the kill onto Hoser. And that means they get to survive this fight. And in fact, that one goes the way of Dingleberrt. But they will have to struggle to get this inhib. Looks like they aren't going to secure this one. Coach Kev Sucks might actually have to back off here because the Dingleberrt, they're here in force. They've got 5 against 4. And if you didn't know, 5 is a higher number than 4.
Yeah, and this is the one problem with the team comp that Coach Kevin Sucks has. Their siege is not really oppressive. Theirs, although is really strong, he's one of those like he's on the lower end of the high range ADCs. He doesn't have too much range like a Caitlyn, like an Israel. So, or like, he has to use his cooldowns. And once the cooldowns are used, then he's under threat of like being engaged on. I feel like they need to use the next Baron that they have, or they get, possibly, much more effectively. One of the problems that they're facing is that they don't win the side lane. Right. Glitchy is at a point where he can clear waves consistently, and Hoser's already just dominating in the side lane against Chubby Hugs. So, in that sense, I think the siege will be really problematic for Coach Kevin Sucks when it comes down to finishing this game.
So, we've seen them try and struggle somewhat to siege a few times now. And I noticed that a lot of these attempts have been very split up across the map, right? AS Lin, he's up there in top lane. You've got Fat and Sweaty in the bottom lane, Dirty Band-Aid and Dashes. And Chubby Hugs is kind of floating between the middle there. Do you think it's time for them maybe to try a 5-man siege, group up fully, and try to fully commit their entire kits under the tower for a full team fight that might swing things in their favor better?
I don't know. I was gonna say something, but Hoser. Oh no, the flash into the.
He goes wide, but he's caught by the chain of corruption, and I don't see a way Hoser gets out of this one. And so scratch that question, Sultan, because they don't even need a 5-on-5 because they just flipped the script from a couple seconds ago. Now they're the ones with the 5v4. They're taking it straight to the Baron. Keep an eye out, Dingleberrt. They are here. They have the presence, but can they actually get in there? They're massively underleveled, underfed in items, but Underpants, he wants to start it up, but he's getting melted down so quickly. Burned down, Dashes finds the kill first, and AS Lin wants to look for a little bit more. They started this fight, but Coach Kev Sucks, they're looking to end the fight, and they sure have done it. Stro is running away, one more monkey jumping on the bed, but how long can he stay up?
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like the game is just about over. I'm not sure if the game is over, but they should at least get 2 inhibs and the Dragon Soul, and maybe just look to end the game with another push here. Death timers are not too long. They'll probably just, grab the 2 inhibs, push the wave, and then reset. But really good fight, really good pick onto Hoser, just getting a little over ambitious in the side lane, overextending a little too much. They might even get 2 turrets.
That turret is going to go ahead and go down, but Lin might overstay his welcome here. Does make the wise choice. Dashes away. Gets himself further apart from Glitchy so he can't get trapped by that wall. But as you said, 2 inhibitors down. Top lane tower has finally fallen. And what's this, Sultan, but the Dragon Soul? I think you might have mentioned this exact play as being what happens, and they sure do go for it. That's going to be... he stops the back, but that's not going to do anything. No. Baron's still on the map. Does Coach Kev Suck even need it?
They don't really need it. I'm pretty sure they can just like run it down the lane, force a team fight, and just win. It's just like their preference at this point. It's just like, how do they want to end the game? Because I feel like this game, after that early game, going to 29 minutes is crazy. Like the fact that we're still in this game is just. I guess they're trying to play it safe, but like, well, with this big of a lead, I'm like just surprised that we still haven't seen the end for this game right now. We're again dancing on the Baron, baiting the enemy team in. They're just looking for that Dirty Bandit slowly coming from mid lane back to the team fight, and they should look to just start the Baron and then bait the enemy team in. There's no need to like flip it 50-50 where you're just under pressure of maybe losing the game. But there's super minions on the base, so they have to kind of just be careful.
Oh, there's the engagement. Fansweaty finds the ulti, but it gets stunned out immediately by the Event
Oh, the
Horizon.
snipe!
Litchi, oh no! Dirty Band-Aid is an absolute mad lad, the sniper from downtown, and that's gonna break this one wide open. Hoser trying his best to force Coach Kev Sucks away, but he can only do so much for so long, and he does fall eventually. Litchi, the lone survivor, but he's not a survivor anymore. That's the full ace. Sultan, that's the game.
Yeah, and props to Coach Kevin Sucks. I think they played a clean game, especially mid. Other than the top lane, I feel like Chubby Hugs kind of had some rough laning phase into the Ornn, which we did not expect. But AS Lin and Dirty Band-Aid really just like putting up an insane performance in game one, just saying that we deserve this. But again, I'm still kind of in awe that this game went to 30 minutes. I feel like this should have been just over a long time ago.
Well, maybe the reason it went to 30 minutes was because Hoser was doing so well in the top lane, he hosed their ambitions of trying to end it early.
Maybe.
Well, we will see exactly how everyone feels about that. We're going to go back to the analyst desk. We're going to be rejoined by Haru here. Haru, I imagine you were watching the game. How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, I know like the point system looked a little off. I have my Poro because obviously the Poro is like a huge part of
Right,
this.
right.
Poro was actually cheering everyone on from the back lanes, but on the side of I think it was it who was on the red team again?
I was the Dingleberrt. Dingleberrt.
Team Dinglebertt. Yeah. So for their side, I know it looks like to our eyes, the point systems look a little different, completely off. But they were definitely fighting hard to not
Yeah.
let the team like the game end. And like I think in game two, they're gonna bring back a huge fight. And then on CKS's side, like wow, their teamwork incredible. Like they were always on top of it, always had each other's backs. But yeah, I actually want to get both of your opinions. How are you both feeling, first of all, after watching that game?
Well, I think Coach Kev Sucks has shown that they didn't get this far out of luck, right? They got here through skill and through playing to the best of their abilities and working together as a full unit. We saw, like you said, that teamwork come through multiple times in that game. Dinglebertt maybe just warming up, maybe just weren't quite there entirely, maybe didn't expect so much damage and aggression in that early game. That's really where it seemed like they stumbled, was just in those early portions of the game. Once things started moving on to the mid, to the late, they were able to find some picks back and be a little bit more safe. They just got to clean up those first couple minutes.
Yeah. What about you, Sultan? Thank you, sweetie.
Um, it's just I feel like it's just kind of the how do we put it, the players kind of difference. I just feel like again the highest ranked member on the Coach Kevin Sucks team is the Dirty Band-Aid, and he got one of his best champions. His highest win rate champion in solo queue is Varus out of the ones that he
My
plays.
Oh,
man!
So
that's the one you wanted too, Suki. I was excited when I saw that.
So
Yeah, and
like when you have your best player on one of his best champions, and just like the Lulu to support it, and then your mid laner's playing well, this is just like there's really not much you need to do more. Like even if your top laner is losing too hard, it just doesn't matter. Like because again, they drafted an Ornn. Ornn having a lead just doesn't really matter. It will be about who gets the lead in the bot side, and it wasn't even the jungler. Like the 2v2 from the beginning, the first blood, then another 2v2 kill. just really good job from Coach Kevin Sucks. And for Dingleberts, I think if they just be a little more cautious about how they approach this laning phase, just like understanding how these matchups kind of play out, then with them having a winning top side, maybe they can bounce back.
I think the thing is Coach Kevin sucks. I don't think Coach Kevin sucks this time. He coached up and he said, "I'm Coach Kevin and I'm going to make you win this time, team. We're gonna do it." And then on Team Dinklebird, the joke is Dinklebird is the nice neighbor and Fairly Odd Parents. So maybe they were like, you know what, we're gonna be the nice neighbor this time and give you that win, but this time bringing it back second game. So in second game coming up, any expectation or not expectations, but predictions on both your parts.
Well, I think Sultan touched on it best. Take the Varus away, man. Don't let Dirty Band-Aid just run this
Yeah.
back. He dominated the bottom lane. If he's gonna have a good performance, don't let him have it on his best champion. Just get it out of there.
Yeah.
Just 3-ban the first phase. There's like I can see the Maokai ban being like going through because I think um what was the
Oh
support's
god.
name? Dashes.
Underpants
He
for
doesn't
Dash.
play. Oh, was it Underpants? Is it the same guy? Or like is it a
Underpants is for
sub?
Dinklebird.
Okay. So like it is not his main role. I feel like just banning a champion from him, especially Maokai. Well, I don't know if it was support or jungle focus, but I think either way, like Maokai is a really strong champion, but just throwing a ban towards the support or a jungle when the enemy team's ADC is like how what they play through is just not a smart idea, especially leaving the Varus up if it's like their best champion.
Yeah.
I think you just 3-ban ADC for first phase, put him on something that at least he's not too comfortable on, so that like maybe you can make him to get him to do more mistakes in laning, because when you're playing a comfort champ, like people just don't do a lot of mistakes. Even if you saw in the itemization, I think 90% of the people would not go Zhonya's there, but he did just go Zhonya's. The champion uses AP fine, and Zhonya's is the better item there, so. I think getting people off comfort is the most important thing. And again, just don't counterpick yourself. I feel like picking Ornn into Yasuo, you're not gonna get to use your ultimate as much. Picking Veigar into Yasuo, it's not the worst. You can stop him in the lane, but again, his W works wonders against your ultimate. So that Vendaval actually brought a lot in the team fights. So I would just keep in mind those in draft.
Oh yeah, perfect. So, any last words before we go to break? Give you both a break before we go into the next game.
Just that I'm really excited to see how the rest of this match unfolds and see if the Dinklebert can go ahead and pull this one back and just do a mental reset. Because I think that's the most important thing here, right? Is you have to basically treat this match now as if this game one never happened. You can't afford to take this loss with you into the rest of the set. This is now a best of 3. You're gonna 2-0 them, and that's what they have to do.
True. Uh, my approach would be different. I would just say, learn from your losses. It's like, okay, we lost game one, we accept that, but we made mistakes. We made our own mistakes. We did some things good, especially in Hoser's case. So let's just keep those, fix what we did wrong, and like just bounce back because yeah, like this is not the end of the world, right? This is still a seeding series. So you just like you gotta show that you're just a better team. You have nothing to fear from. So like just go at it with what you all got.
Perfect. I love both of what you had to say. So now we're gonna take it to break, and we'll be back. Thank you, and stay tuned, everybody.
Back to the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a
Wake
bang,
up!
Quicksand asleep.
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up.
But I gotta say, he was smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's traded back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because Actually, they're not all same solo.
Big
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3v3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before he's last. Dies, and Chicken Fried Rice 200 teeth with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him. And they call comes back in the circuit, flip finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage to Treble back? And he does, but unfortunately, it is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron, they spiraled away from a teamfight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly, still
find
performing
Akali
extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out simply, tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron I've seen, and it's incredibly hard to siege anything. As we're talking about that, the dragon does in fact fall.
This will be a very important fight. Dragon Soul on the line. Let's see.
This is so easy, and the onslaught of shadows into all of the members. We talk about Wombo on one side, we talk about Wombo on the other side, but the whole time is not correctly pinned on enough members to make it worth it and to make it so they can make this comeback. And unfortunately, at the end, CLB take the ace, and they look to take the game.
And then as we rolled into game 2, Maokai was picked again.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Maokai, the Twisted Treant.
Maokai is a support tank hybrid.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bold move.
Overall,
Normally Darius is only reserved for those counter picks, and it looks like they're just going to respond with Maokai.
And the team was entirely green, so they kind of had the aesthetic advantage for the Big Bongo boys. For the first 22 minutes, I kind of got distracted watching the LCS. 100 Thieves did win, to a big surprise of all the casters, and then we moved back into the game, where Baron and Soulpoint were both hit here by CLB.
Towards this dragon, we do have good depth running up from base. Let's see if we can get here in time.
And this dragon is down to 9k HP. They opt to pull it out, so the potential steal is has a lot less potential to happen. The Maokai ulti for the engage. They want to make this happen. The Wombo combo, but the bullet time is just barely out of range, but it's not going to matter in the end. The Deathball comes through strong, but this Twitch is free firing in the backline. Good Death trying to stall time for his 80 carry, but in a 1v4, when you're already routed and they're already on top of you, they make it look easy.
With CLB taking a massive victory in the second game and this series. It seemed like the casters had gone to Hogwarts, because every single time they were casting and made predictions, they just put a caster curse down on poor Big Bongo boys.
The series is taken by Clarity Black.
And that was Risen Unstoppable for the night. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a
Wake
bang,
up!
Quicksand asleep.
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up.
But I gotta say, he was smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo boys, because they're not all same solo.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3v3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before he's last. Dies, and Chicken Fried Rice 200 teeth with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him. And they call comes back in the circuit, flip finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage to Treble back? And he does, but unfortunately, it is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron, they spiraled away from a teamfight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly, still
find
performing
Akali
extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out simply, tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron.
And we are back once again. Game number 2 is about to commence here in the tiebreaker for the playoff 2nd seed and 3rd seed. It's still Spooky Mars here. I'm still joined by none other than Mr. Sultan himself. It's still the Dingleberrt against Coach Kev Suck. Sultan, we saw Coach Kev Suck take a pretty easy lead in game number 1 there. And you talked a little bit about what you wanted to see in these picks and bans change up, and it was mostly just that ADC. Put some bans toward him. Are you sticking strong to that? And if so, what 3 are you looking at most?
Personally, especially after the sides got like they changed sides, they can actually just go with like a Kaisa and a Varus ban, and then if they want to ban the Maokai still, they can go for it. And then pick away the Caitlyn. I feel like Caitlyn doesn't really have a lot of counters in lane. It mainly just like you're gonna almost bully out every single ADC in the game as long as you can space well. So they can go for an approach like that. That way they can ban different champions. And as we already see, they do ban the Yasuo. They banned Ornn.
Okay. Maybe we're banning Yasuo, Ornn, and then Varus. So I'm going to tell you right now, if Varus doesn't get banned, I will actually be upset. I'm going to be a little bit irate. No, there's no way.
Why did they ban Ornn? Wasn't Hoser the one who just stomped as Ornn? Did I watch a different game?
Yeah. I don't know why they banned what was probably their best performing champion away. I suppose it was so they could pick up this Maokai, probably put Hoser on that one in the top lane.
Flex, maybe?
But you left the Varus up, my boys. It's not gonna matter. They pick Kaisa anyway. So Varus, he's really more of a one and done kind of thing for Dirty Band-Aid.
They didn't ban any ADCs. That's like the one thing. Well, I guess if you don't ban any ADCs, there's a lot of champions to pick from. So now they have Caitlyn and Varus to themselves if they want to go for it. But Kaisa being up, the Mordekaiser comes through. I wanted to see this last game from the Coach Given Sucks top laner, but we're gonna get to experience it this time. I'm pretty sure they're just expecting this Maokai to be top for sure. I feel like if they're going with the Mordekaiser, it can be flexed into 3 roles. So they can maybe get a counter pick onto Mordekaiser. There's a decent amount of champions that can counter pick, like can be counted as counters to Mordekaiser if you know how to play the champions. Jax being one of them. Fiora being like one of the best counters. GP again, one of those champions, but looks like Maokai will either go jungle or top. I would assume a top. Hoser just had a really good game on Ornn, but yeah, already a great pick into that Maokai matchup. We see Tristana Renata. This is a really volatile lane. Like if they can get a lead with this, then TD's bot lane will have a time of their life. But if the same thing happens like we saw last game where they overestimate their power and just die early on, Tristana, you really like don't want to use your your W is more of an aggressive tool. You can use it to get out, but again, you want to like jump in, get a reset, jump out. That's like how you want to utilize the champion. So if they're behind this time, they're not gonna have a late game scaling option like a Jinx as well. So I don't know. I'm not sure how much I like TD's draft, just off the experience I had 30 minutes ago.
It was quite the experience indeed. So with Hoser now getting this Maokai probably, I assume they're going to stick him in top lane and leave him alone up there. But looking at this bot lane a little bit, Leona and Kaisa, it seems a little bit hard to aggress into that as Tristana. You can see the Trundle also banned away, so I'm expecting the Sejuani again. But where does TD really find an edge in this match right now? Because like we just touched on, you can't really aggress onto a Leona who's just going to root stun you and then say, haha, get DPS by my ADC nerd. So they have to pick something that can facilitate this somewhere else, right?
Yeah, and like with TD's team comp, like you're mainly looking for jumping in. They have good answers to like engage like Renata. Maokai can be used as disengage as well. But I feel like what you're looking for is like you use Maokai ult to like really start the team fight. Oh, it is a Maokai jungle, maybe.
Oh wait, okay.
Oh, this gives
he's
this
a tree. Put him with the
some
trees.
hope.
This is definitely has potential. If you put this Aatrox up in the top lane instead of this Maokai,
Okay.
maybe it has a little bit better trade potential here. Definitely
point-
has some really good sustain going into this Mordekaiser.
Maybe they
I'm still looking at this Leona, this Amumu, and I'm thinking, how does TD get active onto this team? Can they even send Hoser on this Aatrox into these two? Because it feels like as soon as they try to engage, they're just going to get counter ulted by the Curse of the Sad Mummy and locked down.
Yeah. TD drafted a lot of like lockdown CC. They have Renata, they have Maokai, they have Malzahar. Like there's really good CC coming from TD's comp. It really heavily depends on how this bot lane and top lane goes, because this time you're not going to have like a Ornn in the top lane who's like really tanky, who has like a lot of opportunities to like just go against dive. Oh,
Okay.
I'm not. Set into Malzahar?
He has some
That
easy
is a
ways to
little
proc the spell
ballsy.
shield, right? Like the Shuriken can pretty easily proc that spell
It
shield.
can block the spell shield. The problem is like you really just don't get to ult on top of him. As soon as you ult, you get Malzahar ulted. And if there's anyone around
Eh.
from the enemy team, you're kind of dead. Blood like I don't know. I feel like the comp coming from CKS is like more of a ego comp. They're just saying like they don't have the best synergy in their team comp, but again they're just saying, okay, we're just gonna beat you with whatever we have. We just like with the bot lane lead that they got last game, they're just kind of, I think, hoping that the same thing happens. But if TD can play the laning phase a little bit better this time, I feel like they have a decent advantage over CKS, especially in some of these team fights. The Renata, the Aatrox, these picks might come in really clutch in some of these scenarios.
Well, I don't know about you, Zoltan, but I'm super excited to get into this game. And what better way to experience that excitement than by holding off on the game and take it back to our analyst desk so we can also get Haru's opinion in on this. Thank you for joining back up with us, Haru. You got the sage.
I got this little poro. That was a little misleading by the way, Spooky.
It's what I do best.
A little troll here over. I love it. I love it. Yeah, these picks are very interesting. I was a little iffy with, the Tristana and then the Renata, but Renata had I can't say anything because I've never won against a Renata in my game. So,
Fair
even
enough.
though I'm iffy about the Renata, she's always defeated me. But then I saw the Aatrox and I was like, Aatrox has been a very strong pick. So I'm excited to see what Team Dinklebird they're gonna do with that. And then on the side of Coach Kevin Sucks, the Mord and the Leona. I do love the Leona a lot for a support pick as well. She has so much CC and ability to just bring a team up. And then she just runs out with her shield, like, oh, I'm gonna go in and destroy you. And then, oh, nope, bye-bye. Never seeing you again. And then she has all this armor. So she's like, looks like she's lunking around, but she gets out there. So we'll see. But what do you both feel about the Zed pick? I'm a little curious about that personally. I'm not sure how that will go. So
I think Sultan touched on it pretty well there. Sure, you can break the spell shield with the shurikens pretty easy, but as soon as he goes in there, like, how do you prevent yourself from being just Malzahar ulted? Like, does he have to go into one of those spell shields, get like the Edge of Night? I don't know. It looks tough to me.
I
yeah.
feel I feel like the biggest problem is that like even like let's get rid of it. He QSS is the Malzahar ult or anything.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
ults in, but like Zed in concept of a champion, I go for one, get a kill, and then wait for my cooldowns to go in again. There's a Renata in the game. You're not gonna like get a kill. You're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna have that backup with Renata W. So if you go in, you kill, but if you're in a rough spot, which like there's Maokai, there's Malzahar, only QSS will not save you. You're gonna die, and like you trade your life for basically nothing. So I feel like just picking R5Z here is just off that is just pretty bad. I feel like if they went for any mage, Anivia, Syndra, I
Oh,
don't know, Oriana, whatever. Like you just pick any mage and you're fine.
yeah.
And but they didn't want to go for that, so.
Yeah, it looks like Team Dingleberrt, they're gonna surround the Tristana, like they're gonna be hugging her. And it seems like Coach Kevin Sachs wants to counter that and really wants to put somebody in the back line to get that Tristana. And yeah, so yeah, makes a lot of sense what you do say, Sultan. A control mage might have been a better pick, but we'll see how it goes. I have a little faith. They did do pretty good in their first round, so I don't think they're gonna pull back. Is Zed one of their better players, like for the mid laner?
Oh,
Is it one of
I
his
don't
main?
know. When I look at the solo queue, it doesn't really show up. But if like sometimes people just play some champions just specifically for comp, and they're like really talented at it. I've seen it happen a few times. So
Yeah.
even I have my own champs that I only play in comp because they're just too boring for solo queue. But I don't know. Zed is normally not one of those. Zed mains will normally like just spam Zed. So if I'm not seeing it in his solo queue, I'm just like kind of iffy with the pick. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air for me.
Yeah, so but you know what? You mentioned you love the Maokai pick, right? Was that you? I believe it was, or was that Spooky? Oh, Spooky over here. So they picked last game they picked Varus. Now they're gonna pick Maokai. How does your heart feel? It must be like fluttering in the air to get to see two champs you really want to see.
I am just happy as can be. I just like seeing these champions. Like, I don't know how many people watching have played Maokai, but he has literally the best in-game quotes that you will ever hear a single champion say. Like, they're utter nonsense, and it just makes the whole thing so much fun. Like, the man just doesn't die, right? He can be in the fight for 20, 30 seconds, and oh, bop, gonna punch someone, and oh, look at his health bar. It's going back up. Why is it going back up? Can it please stop? I just think this is such a fun champion to watch, and the setup potential it has, whether it be the grasping roots, the ultimate, or just the twisted advance, just the W. And the fact that he goes untargetable and can counter out some of these abilities does create so much outplay potential. I'm just so excited.
You know, when I first started playing League and I saw that champion, I loved just his movement when he would like you can click on someone and then he'll dash or like kind of, I don't know, he looks invisible when he goes
The
on
twisted
and then he does
advance.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but he looks like it's just so swift and such a beautiful movement. And then you have the cute little exploding guys. I don't even remember what.
Saplings.
Yeah, the sapling. Sorry, see, I didn't learn the lingo of League. I just like see what I see, and I'm like, I
I
like that.
play a lot of Maokai.
Yeah, so you would know. But yeah, I love his saplings, and I played him in ARAM, and personally, he's my favorite pick in ARAM. So
I I
yeah.
uh, I I absolutely despise Maokai. I I don't like the champion. Please stop playing it. Who put it in the
Spooky,
meta? I
spooky
don't
squad.
know. I don't like it.
Who would you prefer? Who would you prefer, Sultan? Who's
Just
your
just just
favorite pick?
put in Lisa. I like the champion. It's more
Do you?
Okay, I
flashy. It's
can't.
Oh
more
my
flashy.
gosh! One sec. I have
I
a
can't
little leak.
stand this guy. I need a new co-caster, somebody.
Bro, I don't know. My
Listen.
worst my like the
New host too.
absolutely worst time I've ever had
I
in
can't hear
comp
you guys.
play
So
was
sorry.
literally Maokai support with Imperial Mandate, Demonic Embrace, Rylai's. It's just like you were not able to move, he would one shot you with samplings. I don't know, I just hate the champion.
Phew.
That sounds beautiful to me.
He's beautiful when he's on your team and doing that, and then he's just not when.
I'll still support it. I'll still support it on the other team. I'm a
Oh
Maokai stan, 100% all the way.
yeah. All right, both. Thank you so much, and we are going to take it to break. We're gonna get some throat like tea. But we'll be back. Stay tuned, everybody. Thank you.
To the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a
Wake
bang.
up!
Quicksand asleep,
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up. Come
but
on,
I
come
gotta
on.
say, he was
Go.
smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's traded back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
for Boxer Squirrel. Just really, those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solos.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo Boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3v2 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before he's last, dies, and Chicken Fried Rice 200 teeth with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him. And the call comes back in the circuit, but finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage to Treble back? And he does, but unfortunately, it is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo Boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron, they spiraled away from a teamfight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly, still
find
performing
Akali.
extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out, simply tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron I've seen, and it's incredibly hard to siege anything. As we're talking about that, the dragon does in fact fall.
This will be a very...
And once again, just like that, back into the game. Spooky and Sultan to take you through it here. Haru had to dip out. She'll be back later. But Sultan, I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this one. We're kind of expecting a little bit of a closer game in game number 1. That didn't happen. Well, we're going to be upfront and honest about it. It really wasn't that close. Do you think now, going into game number 2, will the Dingleberrt, they've had some time to kind of recognize the play style, the aggression that will come out from Coach Kevin Sucks? Do you think they'll have a better chance going into this early game to kind of keep things even?
I feel like early game wise, yes. Like Tristana, especially the Tristana Renata, I feel like they have much more pressure of a 1v1 or 2v2 kills in the bot side than what they had last time. Well, what they did, there was Jinx Nautilus, which like it's not bad, but with like Tristana Renata, even if Tristana jumps in and she gets stunned, as long as you have Renata's bailout, you can still like try to go for like a trade kill and then you just revive back. If they can actually execute those things, it will be really good for them. But again, going off what happened last game, I'm not too comfortable in that statement.
Can only tell with time, but already Vexen tries to get a little bit aggressive there, throwing the charge onto Dirty Band-Aid. And you know what? They've won the trade. They got a little bit more damage out onto Coach Kevin this time, and they didn't take any back. So already things are going a little bit better in their favor. Meanwhile, this top lane, looks like Hoser is pretty comfortable up on this Aatrox. He's able to get a little bit of pressure up there. So if this bot lane can improve, and Hoser has even the same exact kind of performance as he did in game number 1, I kind of feel like the Dingleberrt, they're already in a better spot.
Yeah, and personally, like I feel like both sides of the map should go different ways just off the draft. This time it's not Rumble, it's Mordekaiser. It's harder to kill, even if he's low HP. He always has that outplay potential in his back pocket with that death realm, especially after level 6. You're seeing a fight bot lane.
Yeah, but Vexen gonna go ahead and jump on out. Not willing to take these early trades at this point, and I don't blame him, right? After losing so hard in the first one, but Glitchy in mid lane still has some action going his way, able to turn some damage back. But I think it might be time to stop using the silence for wave clear.
There's a gank coming in. I'm not sure if this Coach Kevin Sucks realizes
but the aggression
in.
Dashes, starts it up onto Underpants with a jump in. Exhaust comes through from Dirty Band-Aid, but the first blood is what goes out, and it's the side of Coach Kevin Sucks. They do find the return kill. Dashes should not be able to get out of this one. Sapling on the charge, finds the slow. Double kill now goes out, and this time it's all to Vexen 12. Get the mastery in there, because he's feeling good.
Yeah, and this time he gets his first highlight play of the series. At his game 2, flashes that mastery. Good gank coming from Stro, just pathing straight into bot side, realizing how he should be playing this game this time, because like I feel like it's a mistake that Fat and Sweaty did to path even towards top. I feel like just leave this top laners in an island again, because both of them has their own ways to deal with each other. Aatrox has his healing, especially when the World Ender comes through. It's going to be really hard to kill him. But same for Chubby Hugs. He has his World Ender, not Death Realm for himself to have that safety. So I feel like these top laners just will go like back and forth trading with each other. You just need to make sure your bot lane is the one that is winning. And like with both of these junglers, Amuma and Mako, they kind of have the same playstyle. You just gank a lane, get them a lead. You just want to get like early dragons if you can, but this will all happen through your lead in the bot side.
Yeah, definitely both playing more setup style junglers, and probably not going to see too many solo kills coming out from either one of these junglers. But the potential for these ganks is very real. It's very serious. And honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if we start seeing them get very, very active around this bottom side. Up here on top lane, though, Hoser is getting pushed in a little bit, so there's a little bit of that pressure. But as I say that, he's the one going in for the aggression. Look at the healing and damage that comes through. However, the more passive does... Oh, never mind. Big heal comes through. That was massive. What?
Yeah. Well, no armor on the Chubby Hugs. Like, at least for now, it just doesn't really help him too much. He did also use his shield for a reason in the trade, so it's not like if he doesn't use his shield, the trades will always be favored for Aatrox. He has just much more damage in his kit, especially early on into the game with no items. Well, once Chubby Hugs like gets his W to the high levels and uses it, then you're gonna see like, oh, he just gets a 500 shield out of nowhere because I hit him more. But with both mid laners hitting 6, now we'll see if AS Link can play through Malzahar Nethergrass, or if he's just going to just be kind of just running it down with every single ult that he has.
Yeah, this is the time where things are going to start getting very interesting, I think. Both mid laners at level 6. Keep an eye out up there. Take a look at how Lin is positioning on that map. He does want to go for something.
Richie's out of mana.
This could be a big play for him, but he's playing it slow. He's playing it careful. In the meantime, let's just take a look at the build. He has 2 long swords to Glitchy's boots. So he just has boots. He did not go for any damage. Fat and Sweaty, though, might be going for the damage down here in the bot lane, but gets spotted out. He's going to have to walk away.
Yeah, like I thought Dashes would have just engaged as soon as like Amumu was jumping over with the blast cone, but really a low rate reaction coming from the bot lane. Maybe a communication mistake there. And with both these junglers hitting 6, now we're going to see like the actual fights. They're like the hard CC chains with the Amumu's Curse of the Sad Mummy or like the Nature's Grasp coming from Maokai. These are like really kind of match game-changing ultimates if used correctly, like a multi-man Curse of the Sad Mummy with Flash. I've seen it win games, so
yeah,
it just all depends on how you just utilize it.
But they're gonna have to find their time to get active on these lanes, and so far, after the initial gank in this bot lane, the lanes have been quiet. We haven't seen too much action coming out from these junglers, both of them opting to farm instead. But as I say that, take a look at where Fat and Sweaty is. They want the gank. He's coming in from behind. Bandage toss does connect. He's got another charge. He's not going to find it, though, and looks like they will be able to walk away. However, Stro is in the area. Will we see the counter rotation? Looks like no. That'll be the end of that.
Yeah, like the gold is dead even, although TD has more kills this time early on. It's a small leads in CS for mid and bot lane kind of makes up for it, especially in top lane. We're not seeing much. Really interesting item choice. Chubby Hugs going for the Bammy Cinder. I feel like with it being the solo EP on your team, I feel like you just have to go the either the Proto Belt or the Rift Maker. I feel like just going tank against the Aatrox is a really bad idea because like in an overextended trade, you will never be able to beat an Aatrox. He's just going to out heal your damage, and like you're just not going to be tanky enough ever in this game. Maybe if he
Yeah.
goes Sunfire, maybe. But even then, I feel like it's just a bad choice.
Have to see what they're able to do here, because it looks like right now, Coach Kevin sucks. They're just trying to play up for the late game. They're not trying to be too active. And I swear, every time I say that, Sultan, Fat and Sweaty appears on the map like he's trying to make a gank. This time he's just going to go ahead and clear out the ward. But they're not trying to push the envelope too much. Normally, I'd expect to see Lin on this Zed start making some rotations down to the bot lane, try to get some ganks in there, or maybe even take it up to the Aatrox where you can try to abuse him and out damage his healing. But so far, it's just been quiet. He's been staying in the mid lane, farming up, looking for poke onto Glitchy. And so far, it hasn't really paid off, but it also hasn't been hurting them because, like you said, they're about even in gold despite the kill difference.
Yeah, and I think the biggest part of it is just TD has been really consistent with their vision placement. Every single time that Fed and Sweaty
That's not going to connect.
Solar
Unlucky.
Flare miss. Yeah, but what I was saying was they've been really good with how they keep vision in the river. Every time Fed and Sweaty tried to make a movement, they had the information. They knew where he was going with his pathing, and this just ends up. Oh,
good. Bramble Smash knocks Lin into danger, but a better Bandage Toss comes through. Curse of the Sad Mummy has started this one up, and another Bandage Toss. Shadow Warp gets him out of danger, and that's going to be 2 kills going the way of Coach Kevin Sucks. And that is the power of the counter engage that this team has. We talked about it a little bit, but there it is in action.
Yeah, as I said, like this Malzahar pick is not bad into Zed if it's kind of being played reactively. I feel like, especially for the Maokai, you just don't have the damage. If it's like maybe a Lee Sin, maybe a Xin Sao, you can maybe do something. Good buffer on the Leona stun.
That was very, very good. But now the Renata ult comes through. It does catch dashes, but not Dirty Band-Aid. That means no more aggression coming from them. I don't know. Dirty Band-Aid's real low. They could look for this still, but they opt for the farm instead.
Yeah. Well, the TD's bot lane went for a little bit of a safer summoner spell choice with Heal Exhaust. Solar Flare again.
Oh, but this time Renata is the target. Dash comes through from Dirty Band-Aid, but they don't have the damage. They're not able to finish off Underpants. And, oh man, that feels so bad. That minion just blocked the W coming out from this Kaisa, and so no more damage coming out. You see Stro making the rotation. He doesn't see him. No way! There is no way they poke it out of that. That's so unfortunate. The sapling toss could have stopped it, but he's just not able to do it. Up here in the top lane, Chubby Hugs takes Hoser down into the Shadow Realm. Not going to be a kill either way. They're both going to burn ults and walk away.
I'm not sure why Stro didn't check that bush with the sapling. That would have been an easy double kill for them.
Very.
But instead, Coach Kevin Sucks gets away with murder. They get a better reset. They can actually look for Dragon while Vexon is still in base. They have a Mumu towards the bot side. I'm surprised that nobody really went for this Dragon already. There have been like instances where both teams were kind of out of position to really respond. Stro can look for something. Oh, Dashes needs to be careful.
Oh, the ward comes out, and Dashes is spotted on that one. Sapling doing some damage, and the exhaust comes through onto Dirty Band-Aid, but the Solar Flare finds one. Underpants is the target. Curse of the Sad Mummy, and sad indeed is Underpants as he goes down. Over the wall goes Vexen, but the flash comes through. It's not going to stop him from resetting back over the wall, and now Stro is the target, being cried upon. The tears are destroying the bark, and he falls next. But Vexen is just on a killing spree, taking on one after the other. And there may be no Dragon Call this time because they just don't have the numbers.
Yeah, actually Vexen just brings the whole fight back. It looked like could have ended way worse if Vexen was not able to pick those 2 kills up. Or like a kill and assist. He needs to be careful.
Wait, no way he's staying
he's
around,
dead.
right? Oh my goodness.
He might be dead if he doesn't back off.
Wait, what? He's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of there. Okay, he's finally running back to the tier 2.
Worst case, he's gonna trade flashes, but
Is
we
this
see
the
Fed and
most...
Sweaty moving here. No ult from Hoser might mean that he's just dead. Lands
Oh,
it.
what a bandage toss does force out the flash, and
he has
there
ult.
is the world ender. But no, Fat and Sweaty, you gotta get out of there, man. You cannot fight that. But still, flash and ult coming out from Hoser there. That's gotta give Chubby at least a little bit of an edge in that lane. On the bottom side there, that was a very valuable pink ward.
Yeah. But, oh, again.
Oh no, dashes! He is caught out completely! Renata Glask finds the ult, but only onto one solar flare. Hits two! And that should be enough to disengage from that one. Great ultimate coming out from dashes.
Yeah. The wholesale takeover is just barely missing Dirty Band-Aid in these fights. They will look for the dragon though. Amumu is towards the top side. Lin is here. Maybe a possible fight can be contested. Lin is just
Still
BMing
on
them.
it. I think they're going to be hard-pressed to walk into this one. I don't think they're actually going to step
I'm
up
not
here
sure
at
what
all.
Lin is doing. He's BMing, but he's missing waves in mid lane.
The way.
He's just dancing there.
Hey, you got to show face, right? You just got to show face at the dragon, even if you don't plan on defending it.
Yeah. And with most of the champions are like just coming back with the mythics now. All it's mainly the tanks on the side of Coach Kevin Sucks that doesn't have it, and we're seeing this is why I don't think you should go tank against the Aatrox. I feel like you just go damage and try to match him, especially with Mordekaiser. I think it's really not that hard to do, but
Yeah.
he's choosing a different path, and I like as soon as Hoser finishes Black Liver, I feel like it's just going to be impossible for Hugs to even stay in the lane. Maybe until full build, and I'm not even sure in full build if he wins.
Surely he wouldn't build Black Cleaver into him, right? Surely he wouldn't do him that dirty, right? They have a gentleman's agreement.
Well, you're asking for it. You're building. Hugs.
Oh boy, he may not even need it. Forces out the flash. That's gonna go ahead and force Chubby Hugs to reset there. Look at this big rotation coming in. Dirty Band-Aid wants to start this one up. Hey, he's taking a big chunk of damage, but what an ultimate comes out from Fat and Sweaty, and indeed, that was a very fat ulti. But down from the top lane, teleports Hoser. He's not going to find too much value, but he does put a big chunk of damage out into the team. It's 4v1. He's going to back away. There's no dragon here to defend. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing, really.
I'm not sure if like.
Wait, look at top side.
Yeah, they're gonna grab Herald.
Yeah, there they go.
I don't know. I feel like it was just unnecessary, like TP from at least Hoser. He could have just stayed top. Probably just keep bully Hogs. And even if not bullying him, Hogs went for a reset, so he might have actually just taken the top turret instead, or at least get some damage on it. Kind of a waste of a TP. Unfortunate.
Yeah, maybe expecting to find a little bit more value on the initial end once he started that up. But wait, what? What? How does that even work like that?
Chrono break, please. Wait, what? Maybe you called me an amateur, but like I have never seen that interaction before.
Yeah, that one was a little bit wild, so that's really unfortunate for TD now. They've lost the Nether Grasp, so no big lockdown coming out from Glitchy. I mean, I think that just kind of takes away their siege. They had potential there, but as soon as that interesting interaction, we'll call it, came through, they just lost everything. Looks like here in the river, you're going to see them just trying to counter ward, get some vision control on the map. And interestingly, despite how things were going early on, is Coach Kev Sucks, who have the lead in this game. They're leading in the kills, they're leading in the gold department right now. And frankly, they're doing a pretty good job of maintaining pressure across this map. Here in the mid lane, you can see a bunch of damage being put out, and Glitchy, there's no ultimate, so he goes down, but the Nature's Grasp rolls on through, and Dirty Band-Aid is the target, but the Curse of the Sad Mummy is so impactful in this game. Flash will not save the tree. They've learned violence, but they've also learned death.
Yeah, and with these skills, the Coach Kevin Sucks, they are getting a lead.
Whoa! That's a 1v3. Like, just real quick, 3 is bigger than 1. You don't fight into that.
I think it was a little misplayed too. He thought he would be able to kill, I think, Dirty Band-Aid at first, but he just used the World Ender right before he died, so he got no usage out of it. Kind of a mistake coming from Hoser there. And this Kaisa, who started the game behind, now has a first turret, 5 kills, and a lot of gold in his pocket out of nowhere from the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing about this Kaisa, right? You know, just Tristana has a pretty good early game. You know, the first few levels do go pretty well in her favor, but as this game goes on, Kaisa scales very well into the later stages of this game, and we're starting to see that effect in action right now. Sure, you know, we're only 20 minutes in. Sure, she only has 2 items, but she's becoming more and more potent by the second. Now the Nethergrasp has to come out defensively, but Fat and Sweaty is having none of that. And Dirty Band-Aid right there to capitalize. Vexen trying to answer back, but the Assassin is good in the mid lane. And this fight just gets worse and worse by the second, by the pick. In fact, as Coach Kevin Sucks is just marching on forward down this river, looking for one more if they dare step up to this dragon. But the Drake is now the call. Hoser and Stro in the area, but I don't think they do anything to stop this one. Don't even slow it down.
Yeah, and Lin is pushing down mid. He might be able to get this turret. Hoser is here with World Ender ready, but not much will come out of it.
He opts to clear the minions instead there. I think that's a good choice. You know, you might go ahead and engage onto Lin there. Sure, maybe you get the kill, but if you ignore those minions, you're probably losing that tower anyway. Just go ahead and save your gold. Don't let them get out of this one. Stro, however, has to find his way on out. Does find a good Bramble Smash. That should be enough to disengage. With Glitchy here, they might look for a little bit more. Can't find the Twisted Advance. We're not on the way. They are looking to push.
Yeah, they have 4 members down here. They will try to make the most out of this Herald push, but if they're gonna leave the mid lane alone, they're gonna lose the tier 2 down there. They're heavily committing to this right now.
Take a look at the river. Lin on the way as well.
Uh-oh.
Shelly taking some damage here. Dirty Band-Aid. Alright, you're gonna get the tier 1 tower. So they get 1. That's a little bit of value
they get
from the Herald. But is it enough?
Bugs.
My mind tells me no. I feel like it's not quite enough just yet. However, this might be a nice play coming out. Curse the Sad Mummy still connects somehow from the pull. There's so much healing coming through. He's looking to survive, but I don't think he can do it. Flash aggressively to get out of the pull. Put him down. That's the mace, baby. Answer back in the mid lane. Lin should fall here. But a beautiful dash gets him out of there, and I just don't think it happens anymore. He lives. There's no way he dies.
If one more auto attack, it's just painful to watch. Would have been a really good shutdown onto Wexen, who started off really good this game, but some of these fights, the dive, a lot of things happening.
Hello, damage, goodbye, Vexen. Underpants likely to follow here. Good ultimate, but not going to be enough to save his life. There's just way too much burst damage on that one. And, like, that's the state of the game right now, right? TD has had such good fight backs. They've had a lot of life in this match. But the scoreboard is 4-16, Sultan. The gold lead is 7,000 in favor of Coach Kevin here. Like, you're just not in a position where you can fight this anymore. And they just keep trying. They keep stepping up. And it's not working out.
And like, the biggest part of the gold lead is actually in the bot lane. So again, they are trying to play from their strongest member, who is Vexen, but at the same time, Dirty Bandit is also the enemy team's strongest member, so they have to
Wow.
keep that in mind. Huh.
So that's some damage. That's what we call damage with a capital D. And unfortunately, Hoser
That-
is not going to survive that. He's got 2 A's in his name, and both of them are lowercase right now. He is Atrox.
Yep. He's just kind of a dead Aatrox. I don't know, like, it really feels bad because I feel like the early game this time went well.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
Hoser was ahead in CS. He didn't get solo kills, but he had like a huge CS difference. The mid lane, as far as I can remember, there wasn't really a play made onto Glitchy until they went for that Malzahar
Whoa.
ultimate. Oh,
Oh my
there was a
goodness!
save.
That is so crazy. From downtown, Dirty Band-Aid just deletes Vexen from this game. And, I was expecting maybe Coach Kevin to be grouped up here
I'm not
in
sure
full.
about that.
Maybe they only need the 3 of Solar Flare is gonna hit 2 members like that. Legendary is Dirty Band-Aid. Should be the end of that fight. I'm gonna go ahead and group up for the Siege Baron. Still strong on these 4 members. Blink in comes out from Zed, and the curse of Zed Mummy hits 3 members. Good night, Dinglebertt. That is lights out. What an ultimate coming out from Fat and Sweaty.
That was.
That was dirty.
I told you, like, Nature's Grasp or Curse of the Sad Mummy. So, like, these ultimates are, like, game-changing. Although it didn't change the game, it for sure ended the game from
Yeah.
Fat and Sweaty.
Yeah, that play was massive. Stro is the lone defender here. He's got to do it against 5. He's trying his best to keep Dirty Band-Aid away, but he's just dealing so much damage. Dirty Band-Aid, hello? Yeah, well, he gets the shutdown, but unfortunately, the Nexus is also shut down on the side of TD, bringing this one up to a 2-0.
You went for it.
Hey, you went for it. Didn't quite pan out, but we're back here on the analyst desk now. We've got Haru with us. How are you feeling about that one?
We had talked about the Zed and how we were a little iffy with it, and it ended up doing really well in the game.
Uh,
So
Well, I'll say this. Other than that one interaction in mid lane, which like I'm not sure how that happened. I feel like, not to flame anyone. I feel like the game 2 was just such a jungle though. I feel like Fat and Sweaty was there every time. Like he looked for ganks all the time. One play that Stro and Glitchy tried on AS Lane early on, he was there, counter ganked. They got it. They got their 2 kills in mid. He was there in the bot lane dive. Really good curse of the Sad Mummy. He was always in the fights, getting these good stunts, getting these good engages, and like at the end, he like flash ults ends the game right there. Because like if you look at only the KDAs and on like the end game screen post like screenshot, you would say, oh, Dirty Band-Aid and Dash is just stomped bot lane again. But that wasn't the case. They lost bot lane. When you look at it, they were like actually behind. But Fed and Sweaty just outplaying these team fights, getting kills over to Dirty Band-Aid, he just made it happen.
that was I love that. Yeah, that was well said. And Spooky, what do you have anything to add on to that?
I mean, all I can do is pretty much parrot what Sultan has said here. Fat and Sweaty was absolutely a standout player for Coach
Oh
Kevin
yeah.
Sucks this game. I mean, I was questioning some of those curses that landed and connected onto multiple members. Like when we see Hoser get stunned by the curse of the Sad Mummy that he just got pulled out of. Like so many of them just coming in clutch and setting up for his team perfectly to make sure that Dirty Bandit was able to do the damage that he ends up with 29,000 at the end game stream.
Oh
That's
yeah,
insane.
that's insane. Yeah, I was actually like a little shaken. But you both were getting so hyped to this game. So what sorry, did did someone mention something? I heard something. We are going to be taking it to break here. I believe they're taking it to game 3, right?
I
No.
don't believe
No?
so.
I
Oh,
think
that's
I don't.
that's
I
it?
don't believe so.
Oh, no, we're not? Okay. Oh, I was hoping that because I thought it was tiebreaker, so but I guess they
The
can
tie is
tie.
broken.
They have broken the
Tie is
tie.
broken. And you know what? Coach Kevin does not suck. He did very well. But you know what? We do have an interview coming up. So after this break, we will be interviewing with the chosen player, which is so exciting. So see you back, everybody. Stay tuned.
To the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a
Wake
bang.
up!
Quicksand asleep,
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up. Come
but
on,
I
come
gotta
on.
say he was
Go.
smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solos.
Big
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo Boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't cut to it. But Boxer Squirrel in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before he's last. Dies, and Chicken Fried Rice to escape with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him. And the call comes back in the circuit, flip finds one. Can she find two? No, she gets shut down, and the exchange of lives is so insane. Can Maokai find the damage retrieval back? And he does, but unfortunately, it is the ace on the side of CLB that allows them to get this dragon.
Much later in the game, Big Bongo Boys chased Akali down in the bot lane, meaning that Clarity Black had so much freedom to take that first Baron, and from that Baron, they spiraled away from a teamfight and took the victory.
The higher ranked Clarity Black, and honestly,
They
still
find
performing
Akali.
extremely well.
Oh, and she can't get out, simply tries to ulti over the wall, but that's crucial. 4 members sent down. This is the freest Baron I've seen, and it's incredibly hard to siege anything. As we're talking about that, the dragon does in fact spawn.
This will be a very important fight. Dragon Soul on the line. Let's see.
This is so easy, and the onslaught of shadows into all of the members. We talk about Wombo on one side, we talk about Wombo on the other side, but the whole time is not correctly pinned on enough members to make it worth it and to make it so they can make this comeback. And unfortunately, at the end, CLB take the game, and they look to take the game.
And then as we rolled into game 2, Maokai was picked again.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Maokai, the Twisted Treant.
Maokai is a support tank hybrid.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bold move.
Overall,
Normally Darius is only reserved for those counter picks, and it looks like they're just going to respond with Maokai.
And the team was entirely green, so they kind of had the aesthetic advantage for the Big Bongo Boys. For the first 22 minutes, I kind of got distracted watching the LCS. 100 Thieves did win, to a big surprise of all the casters, and then we moved back into the game, where Baron and Soulpoint were both hit here by CLB.
Towards this dragon, we do have good depth running up from base. Let's see if we can get here in time.
And this dragon is down to 9k HP. They opt to pull it out, so the potential steal is has a lot less potential to happen. The Maokai ulti for the engage. They want to make this happen. The Wombo combo, but the bullet time is just barely out of range, but it's not going to matter in the end. The Deathball comes too strong, but this Twitch is free firing in the backline. Field Death trying to stall time for his AD carry, but in a 1v4, when you're already routed and they're already on top of you, they make it look easy.
With CLB taking a massive victory in the second game and this series. It seemed like the casters had gone to Hogwarts, because every single time they were casting and made predictions, they just put a caster curse down on poor Big Bongo Boys.
The series is taken by Clarity Black.
And that was Risen Unstoppable for the night. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Risen recap. Today we're looking towards Risen Unstoppable, and the stream started off with a
Wake
bang.
up!
Quicksand asleep,
It's the first game of Unstoppable Risen pre-made. Come on, get up. Come
but
on,
I
come
gotta
on.
say, he was
Go.
smooth once he rolled into it. And our first series was Big Bongo Boys playing up against Clarity Black. For the first 20 minutes of the game, it was a bit of fighting in the top lane, but not much happened besides that.
Oh, but the engage coming out from Sejuani, but it's trading back, and Maokai actually regenerated a lot more health than I would expected there.
For Boxer Squirrel, just really those kind of impacts making a huge difference in the gold.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I want to call them Triple B, BBB, or Big Bongo Boys, because they're not all same solos.
Then there was a mega turnaround fight for the Big Bongo Boys after they made a big dragon attempt, but then they got challenged again for the dragon attempt, which Big Bongo Boys won the fight towards.
On this side, and there's a 3 on the other side, but I can't punch to it, and I can't punch to it. But Boxer Scroll in the midst of it all, unable to get too much out, but finds the Q before his last dies, and Chicken Fried Rice to his teeth with good depth does not unfortunately have the W enough up to heal him, and they call comes back in the circuit.
And we're back. Hi, Spooky. Hi, Sultan. We're also here with Big Chubs. And this Poro is gonna do a bit of the help with the interviewing. So we got the Lisa and Mike and the Poro. So Big Chubs, hello. How are you doing today? That was an exciting game.
Oh yeah, you better believe it, brother. You know what we were bringing here on the Rift.
Oh, great. So what was the strategy for both games today?
Oh, there was no strategy needed against these fools. We came, we saw, we conquered. They didn't know what tech we were bringing. They didn't understand that we had the secret weapon in the mid lane. What are they gonna do when those 24-inch pythons come for them again? SummerSlam right around the corner. We're coming for you again, brother.
So, on a note, those were two incredible games. Spooky Sultan, do you have any questions you want to ask this big, like, it's a radio host announced voice, I feel like. It's a
So
perfect one.
going back to game one a little bit, the Ornn Rumble matchup didn't quite go the way we expected. We definitely expected, Rumble to have a little bit more pressure there, but it didn't seem to pan out that way. Was that kind of how things were planned out, or was that just an unfortunate thing that you rolled with?
Oh, you better believe it's how things were planned out. You see, the macho guy up here, up top, me, we know our limitations. We know our team. We know what they're capable of. We have the faith. We keep the faith. And we bring it on.
Bring it on, you did. I can tell you were definitely feeling yourselves on that one. However, in game two, it kind of switched up a little bit, where we had the Mordekai's and the Aatrox, and we expected kind of the reverse. We expected this Aatrox to have a really good time, but you just did not give anything up. You lost a little bit of farm, but it didn't seem to impact your gameplay at all. Were you guys always planning on just focusing on that bot lane?
The focus on the bot lane. Always for this team. You never come up to my domain. You come to my domain, and you're in for a rough time, brother.
Go ahead, Sultan.
Well, Spooky. It takes a break, yes, Sultan.
I was about to say, I know that I'm not even part of this cast, but I just joined in because I was listening to it randomly on the analyst, and I'd say that this is probably the most interesting interview that I've ever heard, and that's about it. I'll cut out now.
No, Matt, stay. Hi, everybody. This is Matt. He is our production manager, and he's part of the stream. Sultan, do you have any questions for us? Matt, please stay.
I was just gonna say, like, were these like, or how can I put this? Were these drafts like something you guys like already tried out, or was just like, okay, we already like stomped game one, let's just like pick Zed, pick Mord, like pick Kai'Sa Leona, just like go roll with whatever we have.
Oh, you know we came into this week. No prep. We did nothing for this. We did nothing. We came expecting nothing. All we did, show up, dominate, and just come away with the belt.
So, Big Chubs, would you say that you are actually Coach Kevin? Who is Coach Kevin on your team?
One could say Coach Kevin is all of us personified. But in reality, in games 1 and 2, he was the fill. As you see, our normal jungler did not make it this week, and we did this for him. We're with you, big boy.
Oh wow, the team unity. I love
Coach
it.
Kev steps up to the plate for us. Comes in and just does what he does best.
So Coach Kevin
Homework
is
and showers.
Matt. Do you have any questions for Big Chubs?
I really don't, honestly. I literally came in here just to hear if this was legit, and apparently it is. The chat is concerned. Not only me in the chat, but I feel like the chat is a little bit concerned.
They're a little concerned.
They'd like I
Oh.
can go back to normal for this.
Well, that was very well done. I hope that the chat is a little less concerned because Big Chubs doesn't always talk that way.
You gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah.
You sound like you're
And
just
they
ready
want
to
to
be
be
like in a
entertained.
WWE fight. You're just immediately like announcing a WWE fight, and then I just expect two big people to come out and just start fighting each other, honestly, at this point.
I want to hear you do an audio book, like reading.
Oh,
Nobody wants that. But overall, though, it's like Team Dinglebertt played a really good game. It's like we came in with no real prep, but my hat's off to them. I think their top laner played a really great game. He did what he had to do. He punished game one. He got ahead. It's just our bot lane just did what they had to do even better and just ran away with the game. Props also to Fat and Sweaty for filling in the jungle this week. He did a bang up job. And Coach Kev coming in and subbing in for the mid lane for us. Like really knocking it out of the park both games. I think he had like one death or something both games of the series. It's like we may have Coach Kev sucks in our name or something, but he proved otherwise in our
Not in your name, it is your name.
It's in your name, it is the name. Yeah, well, so any last words before we decide to hop into the other stream?
I can just say this. Team 2, you got your work cut out for you next week. We're coming.
I'm excited. I don't know if I'll host, but I will definitely be watching. Thank you so much, Big Chubs. We will see you hopefully next week. And Spooky, Sultan, any last words before we take it to the other stream?
Just want to thank everyone for stopping in and enjoying these games with us. Thank the teams for showing up and giving us these amazing performances. And I hope we see everyone here again next week because it's going to be an even bigger banger.
Not much from me. Thanks for letting me cast. It was a bit. It was really fun to cast with you guys. With Haru in the analysis, also with the great play-by-play from Spooky. Also, I guess a shout out to our producer, Winter.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, Sultan. Thank you, Spooky. I had such a great time hosting with both of you, and thank you so much, Winter, for being so great in the production and the back end. And if you see this, thank you, Matt, and thank you, Big Chubbs, for being in the interview. Thank you, everyone, for there's a lot of thank yous, but thank you for everyone who have stayed tuned, and we'll take it to next stream. Bye, everyone.